Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're having a great week and a great start to your new year. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about New Year's goals. We're going to talk about reflecting back before we look forward, and also how to stay in the present and to get the things done that we want to get done, and kind of celebrating the little steps in between now and to hitting that goal. So I'm going to just share a couple tips and a couple things that I do when I'm setting my goals for the new year. And then I'm also going to share what some of those goals actually are. So the first thing that I do when at the very end of the year, usually that week between Christmas and New Year's, I always have a notebook like this going. It's just a really thin notebook, kind of one of those moleskin notebooks. What I do in here is this is where I actually write down my goals for the new year. But before I do that, this is also kind of a journal too. So if I have things I want to write down and journal and remember, or sometimes I just write down prayers, I will do that in this notebook. And I usually use one over a year. So what I like to do is at the end of the year, usually that week between Christmas and New Year's, like I said, is I like to make a good things list. So before we look forward and start pressing on, I started doing this, it was several years ago when we got to the end of the year, and I looked back and I was just kind of sad because there were some things that I was really hoping would change in our life, and was just hoping that we would just end the year differently than we were. And so I was just kind of bummed out, and I thought, no, I started thinking back to November and October and September, and just kind of going back in the year and thinking of things that had happened throughout the year that maybe weren't what I had in my mind of things that I wanted to be accomplished or to change or improve or whatever, but that really actually had accomplishing projects around the house, things like that we were able to do during that year. So every year I sit down and I make a good things list, and usually I take up a couple of pages, visits that we had with friends, company that came, people that we hosted for dinner, family outings, days that we had together as a family, any vacations that we did, any just really big accomplishments that my kids did, getting their permit or something like that, their driving permit. So just writing all of those things down, I feel like then I can be really grateful for everything that God has done before I'm sitting down and kind of aspiring for more. I think that goals are really good, but also I think that it's a good thing to stop and reflect on the things that we already have as well. So when that is done, I go on to write down some of my goals. So the way that I structure my goal setting is I have 3 different areas. Personal, which I include health goals, reading goals, or whatever for myself. And then I also have family goals, things that I want to accomplish in our home, for our family. Really anything that falls under the homeschool home category. And then the other section that I have is work. So anything for learning well that I want to do, I will write that all down in those 3 categories. Besides writing them down in my handy notebook here, I will also write them down just in my very basic planner. I get these at Target. They're just very thin and basic. I really like them because they're not big and clunky, and I can take them with me if I need to. I need my paper planner. I don't know if I will ever be a digital planner kind of person, because I write them down in my planner because this is something that I'm accessing every single day, and I want to be able to flip back, and in the back there's a note section, so I just have them all written in there, and I can really easily look back and see what I need to still be working on, or what I've already accomplished or whatever. And then this way it's scalable. So I also in the side section, so this is the month of September, I can write down kind of how to break down those goals and work on them every month a little bit. So that is kind of how I write them all down and keep track. And so now I'm going to share some specific goals that I'm working on for 2024. And so I'll just go section by section. All right, so I'm going to start with the personal section, the personal/health, like anything that doesn't have anything to do with my family or my work. It's just things that I want to do for myself. The first one is I want to read 33 books. I know it's kind of a weird number, but it's kind of where I've set my goal the last few years. I actually just kind of go back like 5 years. I keep track of all of my reading in Goodreads, and I just go back like the last 5 years, and I kind of just average out how many books I've read in those 5 past years, and then that's my goal for the year. I've read more, I've read less. That's about where I'm at right now. It's about 33 books a year. And this year I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm actually I'm breaking down my goal. Who knows if I'll stick to this or not, because sometimes I don't like to be told what to read. But my books for 2024, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I wrote this in the back of my planner. Even though I do keep track of them in Goodreads, I can easily just look back here and be like, okay, don't start this book, Alicia. You need another one in that category. So I'm going to try to read 10 classics, 4 for book club. I'm in a couple different book clubs, but I'm not a great book club person. But hopefully in a year's time, I can read at least 4 with my book clubs. 5 under the fiction category, 5 under the nonfiction category, 3 biographies. That might end up being more because I really do love biographies. And then 6 read aloud to my kids. So that's kind of how I'm breaking it down. I've never done that before, so we'll see how it goes. Another goal under the personal section is to rest on Sundays. I am such a list person. I feel like if I'm not being productive, I don't have a good day. And I really feel like that has started taking a toll. I just need one day where I'm just doing nothing. There's no list. I'm off my phone. I'm not on social media at all. And I'm just reading, doing puzzles, going for a walk, doing leftovers for dinner, just really actually taking a Sabbath. So that is one goal this year, is to really focus on Sunday rest. So winter sewing. I love the winter for sewing. I love to sew. I think it's a really fun hobby and craft and thing to do. Last winter, I did a lot of sewing with my girls and like taught them how to read from a pattern. That was another goal of mine, was to teach my girls how to read from a pattern. So they each made something from a pattern. That was really fun. And I started a couple of projects last year that I hope to finish this year and do some more sewing this winter. So maybe that can be a Sunday rest activity. Another thing that I'm working on, and I'm not quite sure how this is scalable because it's just something I need to work on. And 33 books is 33 books. I can break that down and tell about how many I need to read per month. Sewing, I can tell how many projects I want to get done. But as far as this next one, it's a little bit more difficult to scale. So, and it kind of ties together with a goal I always have, which is getting more sleep. So the goal is to work on tardiness, be better at timeliness, and to get more sleep. And I think that those two, the tardiness and timeliness, work into getting more sleep, because this is the big problem I have. I always feel like I have more time than I do. I always feel like I can get more done in a smaller amount of time than I actually can. And I always think things are going to take less time than they actually do. They always take longer than you think it's going to take. So I try to smash way too many things into too small of a time span. And that includes when I should be going to bed. I'll look at the clock and it will be 9 o'clock and I'm like, oh, okay, I can finish this and this and this. Well, those things all add up to about 2 hours. So then I'm going to bed later than I wanted to. All that to say, I want to be more disciplined about the reality of how much I can get done in the amount of time that I have. So that might mean not getting some things done, which pains me. When I'm getting ready to go somewhere, maybe that thing I was going to try to squeeze in before we left is going to have to wait because I can't get it done before we go. And if I get it done, then we'll be late for that thing. So that's another thing under personal that I'm working on: tardiness, timeliness, and getting more sleep. Okay, my next section of my goals is family. So that's just anything that falls under the family, the home, homeschool, any of that. So one thing I'm always working on, it's always my goal to finish the photo book from the year before. So my 2023 photo book, I'm hoping to get that done. And then I am behind. I've kind of skipped around a little bit. I've gotten photo books done for, I have one done for 2022, but I don't think I did 21 or 20. So I've kind of skipped around a little bit. So my goal is to get caught up on those. I have a couple of vacation ones that I want to do. Those are pretty easy to do because they're pretty short. So I really want to get all caught up on photo books. And that one I can write down in my planner, finish this photo book or this much of that photo book by the end of the month. And that's pretty easy to kind of break down and scale. We have a lot of home projects we want to do, and it's mostly small stuff. We are considering doing a couple big projects, like bigger renovations, but we're not sure yet. We're still trying to make some plans, do some budgeting, and figure out other things that we want to do too, as far as are we going to go on a vacation? If we go on a vacation, how much can we afford as far as big projects and all of that stuff. So that is one thing that we're working on right now, is to sort out what we want to do as far as home projects go. But as far as the smaller ones go, we have some lighting that we want put in. I mean, it's kind of boring stuff, but it will make a big difference. To me, as the one that's home all day, these are things that just drive me crazy around the house. Bad lighting. There's a lot of doors in our house that are just really old and don't shut well, and they need to be updated. So just some things like that. Oh, we have a lot of cars in our driveway because we have a lot of young drivers, and so we need to have somebody come and reseal our driveway and add a little jut out so we can kind of gain another parking spot. So pretty boring. Maybe we'll find some more fun projects to do around the house, but we shall see. And then the other thing that I want to do is to get back to YNAB. YNAB stands for You Need a Budget. We use that budgeting tool. It's an online budgeting tool, which is amazing. We used it for years. And a couple years ago, I don't know, I think we just thought we'd kind of mastered the budget thing and we didn't really need to use it anymore. But I really do think it's just so helpful to see exactly where every cent is going. And so if you need a budget, you should use You Need a Budget. That sounded like a commercial, but no, it is a really, really great tool. They're really great to work with too. If you have questions, they're really great about answering things. So definitely recommend that, and we definitely need to set that up. Okay, and my third section of goals, my third area of goals is my business, Learning Well. And if you're new here, a multifaceted business, I have a website where I do lots of homeschool curriculum reviews and book lists and things like that. And then we have an Instagram aspect where every week we feature different homeschool moms and they take us through their day in the life. And then we also share lots of other things over there too, but that's kind of our main feature. And then this YouTube channel. And then also something that we added about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, we started creating a print magazine, a quarterly print magazine that encompasses anything from anything under the umbrella of home, homeschool, faith, and family. So those are the 4 areas that we create under, and it's a print magazine written by all Christian homeschool parents, and just have had so much fun with the magazine. So that's the business, and I think that my goal for the magazine is just to create 4 more amazing issues for you guys. It is so much fun to create and come up with the next theme every season. Every issue is based around a verse in scripture and a theme or a character trait like wisdom and discipline and contentment and resourcefulness. That is the goal, is just to put out 4 amazing new issues for you guys. I also would like to focus more on this YouTube channel. I feel like I personally I'm really, really tired of just kind of the mindless scrolling that we all do on social media. And I think that Instagram and Reels has really contributed to making that a lot worse. I've made Reels. I think that they can be really fun and helpful, but I also think like 90-second clips, just over and over and over, I just feel like is kind of dumbing us down and just like shortening our attention span. We're not, reading full articles or reading full books as much, and we're not, engaging in kind of this longer form communication. And we used to do this on blogs, and I do still write on my blog sometimes as well. But all that to say, I want to kind of dust away the cobwebs here on YouTube a little bit and be more consistent with posting here and sharing like a video a week. And my goal is to get one out on Wednesdays every single week. And we also have a podcast. I didn't mention that. We have a podcast for Learning Well, which we post to our podcast threads every other week. And we've decided to start recording those podcasts like a video. And so those I'll post here. But also just doing kind of a fun video like this, where it's like sharing something helpful with you guys, a curriculum review, even just cleaning, planning my menu, cooking, something like that. So, and just kind of having that kind of creative outlet for myself, but also hopefully helping somebody else be inspired to take care of their home or whatever it may be. So that's my goal. My YouTube goal is to put out one issue or one video each week. And I think too, with work, a couple more things with Learning Well, just consistency across the board. So staying up on the deadlines for the magazine, posting here to YouTube once a week. We have a schedule for our Instagram page at Learning Well. So sticking to that. I send out an email every Sunday to my email subscribers with all kinds of fun things in there, like things I'm reading and ideas, and sometimes a sale if there's a sale going on, things like that. So just consistency in getting those sent out every week, just consistency across the board. And then the last thing that is in that category is doing a little bit of education in some of the areas. I have taken some really good photography courses and things like that in that kind of realm, and I just haven't done anything like that in a really long time. So I want to do some kind of course or some kind of class on improving my videoing skills and my photography skills. I don't take all of the photographs for the magazine, but I do take a lot of them, and I just always want to be improving in that area because I think it's an area that can always use improvement. I want to just learn on how to improve in both of those areas. So those are my goals for that. Okay, so those are my goals for the year. Some of my goals, some of them I feel like those are just for me. I don't share everything on the internet. I wanted to share these with you. I hope that they give you some ideas, or maybe give you pique your interest in maybe writing some goals for yourself, and just working on improving those little areas that need improvement, right? Like we always have something that we can be working on. So those are I hope it's helpful, and I hope you guys set some good goals for yourself this year, and I will see you in the next video.